You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889. Thank you for listening to Community Forum. My name is Johnny Chandler. I'm the owner and the host of Community Forum, and today with me is the City of Carlsbad Library Director, Sarah Jones. How are you doing today, Sarah?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you very much. This is part two, if you will. We aired one, roughly a month ago, talking about everything you can do kind of inside the library, as well as a mobile hotspot. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about everything you can do online, right? And let's go ahead and start again for our listeners and remind them on what I think is one of the really, really great things that you guys do is you can check out the internet. So let's talk about checking out the internet and reminding everybody how to do that.
You need a library card. So if you stop by and you can pick it up, you actually would have to come in person. You just need a photo ID. And if it's out of state or not your current mailing address, you'd have to bring proof of that, or we could send you a postcard, and then you're open for physical stuff, but also it opens up the whole online world.
Okay. So if you don't have a library card, get one. It's very simple. Go to 101 Hallelujah Street.
Yes.
Right? I'm still getting used to Hallelujah, but 101 Hallelujah Street. Come on in during their business hours. Remind everybody what the business hours are again.
Monday through Thursday, we're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., and then Friday and Saturday, we're open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. It's very simple. Does not take very long at all. And then when you get your library card, obviously you have access to everything inside the teen library, the children's program. You can check out Bob Scholl's meeting room. You get plenty of internet access inside, but you can also get internet access outside. So I have the ability to go into the library with just one more signature, basically, and check out a mobile hotspot.
Right.
Okay. So the mobile hotspot, as you were saying earlier, is you get to check it out for 2 weeks. The Verizon Wireless has a few restrictions, trying to save you for data or cookies and them following you as well. And then you also have some T-Mobile hotspots that are real helpful also.
Yes.
So you use the example of maybe you take the family to the lake, and at the evening the kids are getting a little burnt out by being outside, so they hop in the RV, and as a result of that free internet access, they're watching a movie, and you and your spouse are hanging out by the fire, and the kids are watching a movie, and everybody's happy.
Yes.
Okay. 2 weeks. It's a mobile hotspot's great. So we talk about the mobile hotspot because now we're going to dive right in to everything that the Carlsbad Public Library has to do online. And there's no shortage of events. There's no shortage of things that you can do online. So let's go ahead and get started. I own a small business. You are literally on the radio station of the small business that I own, yes. Right? And this is a new venture for me, and I'm kind of new to being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Right. So you guys have what I see as an entrepreneurial mindset course.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
So basically, it's a course that you can sign up. You might need an email address. Some of the online stuff might have some extra requirements, but you can go on and you can learn how to think and kind of take whatever skill or business you're owning and kind of take it to the next level and learn how to be the best entrepreneur and how to take your business to the next level.
And having internet access and having an email address will be no problem when I check out my mobile hotspot from the library.
Right. And even if you don't have an email address, we could help you set that up too.
Excellent. So, entrepreneurial mindset course, which is good for business. Master the art of bootstrapping. It says you'll learn how cash-strapped entrepreneurs manage to identify, evaluate, and transform their ideas into sustainable success. So, and there's much more on that than that. There's also a link to the Small Business Reference Center. The Entrepreneurial Mindset course and the Small Business Reference Center are two different things?
Yes.
All right. So what's the difference between the two, and what does the Small Business Reference Center really do for you?
Small Business Reference Center is kind of everything you'll need while running a business. So often you have a skill in a business that you want to open, like you have radio, so you communicate and have the art of language, but that doesn't mean you know how to do taxes or the legal side or any of these other detailed, intricate components that it takes to run a business. And depending on how much your business is taking, it's not like you can just go out and hire a lawyer and an accountant and all these other services. So essentially what the Small Business Reference Center is it has all this information and the forms and the information that you need to kind of take these areas of business that you're not so skilled at and kind of give you the resources that help you hone those areas and help you know what to do next.
Okay, so some of the things that they do is one of the highlights on your website, some of them are is buying and selling a business, like how to manage employees, Every business should have a business plan.
Right.
So you can assist in writing a business plan, understanding the legal information, so I can understand that, there's no money to hire a lawyer, right, to do these type of things. And when I was applying for the FCC application for the radio station, I thought about hiring a lawyer.
Right.
Then I saw how much they cost, and then I went ahead and did it myself. And at the end of it, I felt great for doing it myself. I learned so much that I wouldn't have learned by just hiring a lawyer, that I'm now prepared for other things in the future on the legal side that I wasn't before, never would have known.
Right.
Right. Understand or marketing a business, of course, and then much, much more than that. And so that's a small business reference center that is available on the website as well. But you guys do more than that. I mean, obviously, we talked about in the previous episode, we talked about the children's center or the children's area. We talked about the teen library, the children's library. But there's also a lot for adults as well.
Yes.
Right. So let's get into a little bit about the continuing education programs that you guys have, as well as, some of the things that you can do to help me as an adult or any other adult kind of reach that next educational level, or just try to, become more involved in general.
We try to provide things for all aspects of life. So we've got the Small Business Resource Center. We've got resources in the library too that we could email out that include local places in the area that specialize in this stuff that could actually help you. The Learning Library Express has got the GED. So if you found that you're not happy at your current place, whether it's a job or situation, you can get more education, change your career, do some of those testing if you want to go back to college. So we're trying to provide all the resources you might need to advance and enrich your life, which is kind of one of our mission and core values. So
it's well documented that individuals that have a GED or more, or high school diploma equivalent or more, do better in life over time. They make more money over time. They're happy over time, and they set themselves and their families up for success over time. So I get into that, and I say that because it's never too late to do the right thing. It's never too late to go ahead and get that education, to get that GED if you didn't get it when you were younger, or to start building some college classes and taking your time. So it's never too late to do that. And one great thing that I've noticed is that you kind of get to do it at your own pace.
Right.
Right. I mean, you're working, just because you didn't get a GED or a high school diploma when you were 18 years old doesn't mean that you're not working 40, 50 hours a week. You probably are. Right. And as a result, to get that education level, you kind of just, learn at your own time, use the City of Carlsbad Library as a resource. I tell this story every once in a while. That's exactly, my mom did graduate high school, but never went to college. She was fortunate enough to have me at a young age. Right. And as a result of that, there was no idea of college initially when her and my dad were trying to figure things out. And she always had a goal to get her college degree before mine. And she did it exactly 2 months before me. That's right. Awesome. And so September 2002, when mom graduated from college, and then I did it in December of 2002. So that is just an example. And I've seen, she was working 40, 50 hours a week plus 2 kids, and if you know me or my sister, that's not easy. Right. And then also went and got her college as well. And my dad also got his college degree and his master's while we were younger as well. So, and what it's done is it's opened so many doors for them, even a little bit later than life, than they probably could have imagined. So it was a noble goal, and it was great for them. Tell me a little bit about Universal Class. What is that?
Universal Class is a fun way to learn different and unique skills. So it's not really when you think of like a college degree or something of that like academic nature, but it's photography or how to decorate a class or Excel. There's over 500 classes. So even if you are a busy professional and you've got a degree or you don't, and you want to learn a new skill, it's a perfect way to kind of engage and find something creative and a new skill set to learn. I
can't tell you how many times on a resume that I put I was proficient in Excel, and I'm not, and so that's a good thing. So, you can learn anything online, right?
Yes.
It's not a matter of, I don't know how to do that. It's a matter of how do you learn to do it, because everything you need is online, whether you're watching YouTube videos, whether you're learning to use Excel, and the City of Carlsbad Library has those resources one click away for you to help those classes. And those are also self-paced.
Yes.
Right. Excellent. So let me go down the list here. I also want to mention every single thing that we're mentioning essentially has a tutorial that goes with it as well.
Yes.
So not only can you learn how to use Excel, there'll also be a tutorial on how to use the program to use Excel, because it's a program through Excel. So tell me a little bit about, obviously you guys have tons of entertainment in person and online. And I look at this, I look on the website and I see Biblioboard.
Oh, Biblioboard is super exciting. It's got New Mexico authors, and it's got like an author creator tool. So if you're an author and you've written a book, it's a great way for you to create like a whole digital ebook. And the thing that's super cool about it is if you submit it, they can actually send it to a publisher. And if they like it, it'll be published on Overdrive, which is our New Mexico library to go. And people can actually check it out, and you can actually earn royalties every time somebody purchases and reads your book. And it also has our community collection that we've been building. There's a COVID time capsule that people have been able to contribute to. So it's got photos or music or anything that was created during the pandemic. It's got all the mayor's reports. It's got information about how Carlsbad handled the pandemic. So 30 years from now, they can look back, and even if they don't understand the pandemic, they can kind of see how Carlsbad handled it and created during that time. We did a poetry contest on that, so people's poetry is on there. And we are currently working on an oral history through a grant with the Historical Society, NWP, and the Pearl of the Pecos, that we're doing a heritage collection that focuses on local buildings. And it actually has an oral video part of community members talking about their building and life in Carlsbad. And eventually, once those are ready, all of those videos are going to be put on Biblioboard. So anybody in the world can view these buildings and Carlsbad community members' life stories. So.
Right. And so that'll be a very important time in history, right? There was a pandemic in 1918, right, that they called the Spanish flu.
Yes.
So in 2019, 2020, naturally we had another pandemic. So I mean, in 2120, or 2122, there might be another one, and it'd be nice to be able to reference what we did, and then maybe we can learn some lessons about what we didn't do right either, perhaps as a country or a society,
Yeah. And we've put our yearbook collection. We own a lot of the Carlsbad High School yearbooks, and we digitize them so people can, even if you don't live here, you can go on and see the yearbooks. So
I would absolutely. I need to do that because I want to see some of the prominent members of the community now. Like you just want to go back and see what they look like in high school, right? And how much hair everybody probably had. You know what I mean? And the clothing and just, learn history, because if you don't learn it, you're doomed to repeat it, of course. That's a standard saying. So Biblioboard on cityofcarlsbadnm.com/library is going to help you learn a lot about that, as well as, what we did in the past. And I think that the remembering what we did during COVID is going to be real important, right? Because it's going to go, we're going to forget. Yes. We're going to lose it. We're going to forget. And then we're not going to really, and then we're not going to remember what we did. And so it's nice to go back. And then I guess to sidetrack for a second, when you think about this, right, we only had photos in newspapers back in 1919, right?
Yes.
And so the history of it is based on, a journalist opinion and some facts related to that. But this one will be a digital archive that will be there forever. So as a result, you'll really, if you're a young person 30 years from now, looking back on COVID and history for a book report or something that you have to do, as a middle schooler, right? You'll have the visuals and the multimedia in color to associate with it. So I think it'll be much more interactive. I think people will learn a lot more from it. Now, I'm an avid reader, and I love reading newspapers. And one thing that I noticed in Carlsbad is that the Albuquerque Journal decided they don't really care that much about Carlsbad, and they decided not to deliver here anymore.
Yes.
Right. And so I don't think they do. So Carlsbad Current Argus does a pretty great job with keeping us local and keeping us up to date. And you should read your local newspaper consistently. And if you don't want to hold the paper, I'd love to have that ink on my hands after I'm done reading.
Yes.
Right. But if that's not your thing, you'll have it online. Right. Yes. So you guys have some access to that stuff online. But I mentioned that because of a program called Hoopla.
Yes.
Right. So there's so much on Hoopla. And, of course, you need your library card for that, so don't ever forget to get your library card. But tell me a little bit about Hoopla and what they have.
Hoopla is super cool. They've got lots of options, and they're more flexible than some of our online vendors. But they've got movies, they've got ebooks, they've got e-audio, they've got music, they've got TV, they've got great courses. So if you want to learn how to make beer, they've got the videos for those. They have binge-worthy stuff. They've got lots of options, and they keep changing and expanding what they offer.
So it's just like a massive live. So it's kind of like a Netflix, but for free.
Exactly.
Right. Without Stranger Things yet. Right. One day it'll probably be on there. I just mentioned that because that's so popular at this moment in time. So then I'm also looking at the Tumble Book Library.
Yes, that's 100% geared for the children. It's got a video component, so you actually see the pages turning and the book is read to you and you see the pages. So it's colorful. It's a great way for the kids to kind of engage, and it's a fun way for them to listen.
So how is all this online stuff possible? Is this through the state library organization? I don't know what they're called.
Some of it is. The state library funds a bunch of different collection that's on there, but we also use our budget to fund a bunch of it as well. So
now I noticed that the DNA kits were real popular at one point.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if they still are or not, but get your DNA tested, find out where you're from, discover some relatives, figure out your history. PBS has a lot of great genealogy shows as well, where they follow celebrities and learn about their history and their past. And, some people don't know a whole lot about their history or their family when it comes to the 1800s and before then, or even the early 1900s. And so I noticed that you guys have a program called Heritage Quest.
Yes, it's a whole database just for family records. It uses the census and other people that are doing family history, and you can find more information about where you come and your relatives and where they were born and all that kind of fun stuff. And we've also partnered with the Mormon Church and their History Center to do actually monthly classes too. So they kind of teach you their online version and teach you how to search it. So it's a great way to learn more about your family. And it's fun that you can do it online. My grandmother was a huge genealogist, and many of our trips would be going to Kentucky in the summer and going through the cemetery and headstones and doing rubbings and using their county offices to find records. So it's kind of fun that now you can just do it from your desktop. So
was that something that you enjoyed as a young person with your grandmother?
No, I hate cemeteries. I find them kind of creepy because I don't want to walk on the dead people. So
I can just imagine going on a trip with grandma, going to a cemetery, which is, you ever heard, if you ever heard the thing, if you have a chill, that means that somebody's walking over your grave.
Oh no.
Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Yeah. There's this saying that that means that somebody in the future is walking over your grave when you get a random chill that doesn't make any sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I was that's what I've always been told. Maybe that was an urban legend from my mother or something, right? But that was something that I thought was kind of weird. But the idea of going to a cemetery and then, oh, Grandma, I hope we can go to the county clerk's office next.
I never quite understood it, but I think now as a librarian, I understand her wanting to know the past. And it was amazing the records she kept because we have books. And so, it's incredible the records she kept. So
right. Valuable now, especially when you get older, you appreciate those things.
Yes.
Right. And so now you go through and you look at it and you're sitting there with your son or your daughter, and you're and trying to get them equally as interested, but at least you don't have to go to the county clerk's office to do it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And then, all right, perfect. So obviously a lot of, we're talking about, education for adults. Obviously there's the Tumble Book Library for Tumble Books. Obviously a great resource for you to have your kids get online, watch stuff, get interactive, and not have to worry about filters, right? It's already filtered for you. You don't have to worry about it. Anybody that gets online can access anything that they want. So it's important, obviously, as the leader of a family, to make sure that your kids are getting what you want them to take in, right? And so, obviously, Tumble Books is a really great place to make sure that whatever they're on is good to go. You guys help with homework? Do you do tutorials? Tutors, homework? How does that work?
Both. We actually have an online option for homework, BrainFuse, which is something the state library pays for, which is incredible. They've got degreed tutors that you can meet. They even have Spanish-speaking tutors, so if you're not very fluent in English, they can help you, and they'll actually work out problems with you. So that's a great online option. But we found during the pandemic that everything was online and that students weren't necessarily connecting with everything being on the screen and online, and they really wanted an inhuman component. So we do have several tutors that we have signed up that we can just call when a student needs help in a specific subject.
Right. So BrainFuse is homework help. It's online tutoring and homework help. What I like of this is there's also a points of view reference center, right? So the points of view reference center contains more than 370 topics, right?
Yes.
That have overview, point, and counterpoint. And the reason that I mention I think it's important because the internet allows you as a person to only see what you want to see.
Right.
Right. And so as a result, I'm only listening to people that agree with me. Right. I'm only following people online that agree with me. You know, I'm only watching one news organization maybe that agrees with me completely, whether that's MSNBC on one spectrum or Fox News on the other spectrum. Right. If you only watch that all the time, you're just sitting in your house like, yeah, we're great. We're all in this together. Right.
Yes.
There are counterpoints to everything. Right. And there's somebody that has another view. And so it's real important. I think it's real important to make sure that you are respectful and listen to somebody else's point of view in a civil way, of course,
Yes.
right? You have an opinion, they have an opinion, and then when you get the counterpoints and you listen to what they have to say, you are then better educated to form a decision yourself.
Exactly.
And I think that that's real important, and that people need to. And so the Points of View Reference Center is also on the website, and open your mind a little bit to what somebody else has to say, and be open to the idea that they don't necessarily agree with you.
Right.
All right. And a Science Reference Center as well. What's the Science Reference Center do for you?
That one's got science books, journals, experiments, and kind of supports our whole STEM initiative.
Great. So obviously the STEM initiative, even though you guys have some great STEM stuff online, but let's just go ahead and duck into real quick to just what you could do in person. Like talk about the STEM kits for a second.
We've got STEM kits that involve lots of different subjects, including like we even have a coding robot that you put in the code and it'll draw a design for you. So it's got a book, actual physical component, so it's kind of hands-on about whatever subject it is. And then with the STEM club, kids can come in and we have professionals in the community actually teaching them STEM lessons that they can actually learn and walk away with some of this knowledge. So
I remember, I just remember being younger or when I entered the professional workforce in my early 20s, and I worked in a newsroom in Albuquerque, and I'd get phone calls from a lot of people, and I'd be like, well, it's online for you. There's internet access. Just go ahead and log online. And I'm talking to people that didn't own a computer, right? And this is early 2000s, right? I mean, there was no iPhones yet or anything. Dial-up, AOL, And so the idea is they were like, well, I don't have a computer. And for me, I was like, what do you mean you don't have a computer? And of course, everybody has a computer. That's what I learned on. That's what I typed everything on.
yeah.
And then I used to talk about, like, well, what is it that I'm not learning in the future that is going to be important? You know what I mean? Like, what am I like? And I don't know how to code, right? And I can't code for nothing, right? I don't know the first thing about coding. And I don't know, I might be too stubborn to learn at this point in my life. But the idea is you need to learn some coding. Everything in life involves coding now, pretty much. So
Yes.
if you're a young person looking to get into the workforce, or grandma or mom and dad are listening to this, get your kid involved in coding. More importantly, go to the City of Carlsbad Library and learn coding for free.
Well, and we also have a database on the website that's 100% coding, and it's geared towards the child. So even if you wanted to learn coding, it's got a really cool component where you're a superhero and the world has been destroyed by an evil villain, and you have to play this game to learn code. And they start simple and they build on the different languages, so you can learn any sort of coding language. So
I would need to start at that level for sure, guaranteed. Now, homeschooling kind of has taken off again. Obviously, with the schools and the restrictions and the masks and everything involved, and the stress of schools now, and it's getting better, but what it was during COVID, right? Homeschooling's kind of grown a little bit, even though homeschooling has been around for a long time. So does the library have resources for homeschooling?
We've got some. We've got the Scholastics Teachables, which is a great way to kind of get some content for homeschool families. We've got books. We've got the STEM kits. But we're honestly, with kind of the transition we're looking to kind of reach out to them and try to build. So we're always looking for feedback and ways we can better serve the community. So,
and so when you get materials from the City of Carlsbad Library, you're also getting materials that are like PED approved, Public Education Department approved, to help make sure that you're hitting all those key points for your students, so they're progressing as just as well, or if not better, than the ones that are actually in the classroom.
Right.
Now, I only speak English. Not a very good Spanish speaker. I've taken some Spanish classes, and it just really hasn't clicked for me. Do I have the ability to help me learn another language on your website?
Yes, you've got 3 different options. You've got Duolingo, you've got Rosetta Stone, and then you've got Mango Languages, which is our most recently added. And you can do it at home. It's self-paced. You can choose what language you want to learn, including pirate, if that's what you choose. So actually, someone recently signed up to learn pirate.
Do you guys have Klingon?
I'm not sure, but it's possible. So
right, I know but that was a pretty popular language to try to learn for a minute as well. So Rosetta Stone's well known because they advertise for a lot for many, many years,
yes.
right? So you have Rosetta Stone,
yes,
which they claim to be the best language-based one, right?
Right.
Then you've got Mango, and you've also got Duolingo. So Duolingo is language learning and text translation resource. Mango is personalized, adaptive language learning experience that provides the tools and guidance you need to expand your language skills. And then you have Rosetta Stone, which has 30 different languages to choose from on your website.
Yes.
So if you want to learn language or a new language, you should definitely go to the City of Carlsbad website. And more importantly in that, if you want to live in Carlsbad or southeastern New Mexico, it would benefit you to learn Spanish.
Yes.
It very much would. And then let's get into, we just have a little bit of time left, but let's say that I'm looking for a job, right? Do you guys have anything that can help me with my job search?
Yes. We've got the A to Z database that you can search job openings. It also includes resume and cover letter builders, which kind of gives you a strong foundation of what to fill in, and you don't have to start from scratch. We've got Learning Library Express that kind of builds some of your skills. So if you're trying to change careers, there's a course for that. There's also courses to help you further your education for jobs. And those are just a couple ways. We have computers that you can use that we give you templates for resumes to and help you apply for jobs.
Right. So I never like writing a cover letter. I never have, but a nice template helps me out
Yes.
on what to do it. How to get a flashy resume, right, that you upload online that's going to get noticed, right?
Yes.
You guys can help out with that. So here's what I did, right? I have learned a second language, right? And I am now ready to travel the world,
Yes.
right? But I need to learn a little bit about where I'm going before I actually do it. What type of resources do you guys have online? Let's say that I'm going to travel to Italy. Could I go online and learn about Italian cuisine and everything Italy?
Yes, we've got lots of travel databases. We've got the A to Z, we've got world food, we've got travel. So you can learn about like what kind of foods to expect and what kind of ingredients they do. So if you have dietary restrictions, you can know what to expect. The travel aspect kind of tells you what their culture is, what their laws are. So if there's certain requirements, if you need like a visa to go over there versus just a passport, and understanding their laws and culture. We've got the Global Road Warrior that kind of talks about maps and geographies of stuff. So even with like students in the classroom who are just learning about the places, they can kind of understand the culture and the recipes. Or even if you just love cooking, you can find a whole new world of recipes. So
excellent. So cityofcarlsbadnm.com/library. Once you go there, you will then have access to all of this. You can go to the e-library to get access to every one of these. There's tutorials. There's lots and lots of different information on there. You could spend a lot of time on the website.
yes.
You could spend a whole lot of time on the website, and that's not even including going in the front door yet. You have to go in the front door to get the library card, and then after that, you're online.
Yes.
So why don't you just give us just a little bit of information, because we're about to wrap up here. Let's go ahead and I've given the website. Give us the hours one more time and give us a good phone number.
We are open Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can email us at cplinfo@cityofcarlsbadnm.com and call us at 575-885-6776.
We have only scratched the surface. I mean,
Yes.
literally, the library is going to be on community forum a lot, and deservedly so. You're doing an amazing job.
Well, thank you.
I've been to some libraries, and I'm impressed. So you're doing really, really great. So Sarah Jones, City of Carlsbad Library Director, thank you again for being on Community Forum.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're listening to Community Forum on KCCC 930 AM, sponsored by Eddy County, honoring God, country, and family, thriving with industry since 1889.